Greetings everyone and welcome back. This is Marco from Sala, Achille, Marozzo, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, and today we're taking a look at the swept hilt rapier by Blackfencer. As you might have seen in our sparring videos, we own a couple of Kvetun rapiers, cup hilt rapiers, and we've had them for a few years. We've used them in competitions and in videos and so on, and we are perfectly fine and happy with them. But more or less a year ago, we also got this, the swept hilt rapier by Blackfencer. Although you probably have never seen it used yet in any video or such, and there's a couple of reasons behind that. First of all, I want to make clear that this is a nice tool. It's a nice sword, well built, good steel, but it's not exactly what we were expecting. Compared to our Kvetun rapiers, this is shorter and heavier. Specifically, it's like 10 centimeters longer than a side sword and like 10 centimeters shorter than a usual rapier, and it is heavier. Most importantly, it feels heavier, it feels more hefty. And that is because the blade is wide, heavy, and the point of balance, as you can see, it is quite forward. This means that the simulacrum is very good at parrying and delivering very competent cuts, along with very good thrusts. But it's very tiring to use and doesn't really feel like a rapier. And sure, you can simply argue that it's a transitional rapier. It's not a full-fledged rapier, it's somewhere in between a rapier and a side sword. And yes, you would be correct, we agree with that. In fact, it's the way we treat it. But that also means that it doesn't fit neither with side swords nor with rapiers. Also, in the competitions we've been taking part where the rapiers are used, the swept hilt is not allowed, only cup hilts are allowed, so we haven't had the chance to use it in competition. Other than that, as I said, is a very competent tool and well built. It is very flexible and safe to use, the steel is good. Again, we haven't used it much, but for what we have used it, both against side swords and rapiers, the blade is still perfectly fine. There are no dents, or especially there are no burrs. And I'm sure the most keen-eyed amongst you have already noticed the rust spots. Well, unfortunately, we live in a very humid part of Italy, so rust is part of being an historical fencer. But we have also to notice that there's a specific spot here that developed rust immediately after we received this tool. Like a week after we unpacked it, it already had developed some rust. Fortunately, it's not that bad, and it's not anything worse than what we are used to. Obviously, swept hilts are very much directional in the sense that they are made to be used with one specific hand. This is obviously a right-hand version because it's the most common, but that also means that a lefty or ambidextrous like me, can't really use it at full potential. So overall, it is a nice tool, but the main drawback is the weight balance being a bit too forward. If it was only a few centimeters further back, it would make for a much easier use, a much more nimble blade, rather than a hefty, almost saber-like feel to a rapier that should be, again, much more nimble. Well, that would be all for today, with the promise that we'll try to use this more in videos. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.